Our coverage of day number 1 continues in wheelchair curling. Welcome back to the building they call the Ice Cube, as Canada gets set to play its second game of the tournament, second game of the day, alongside 3-time Paralympic gold medalist Sonia Godet. My name is Matt Cullen, and Sonia, a very convincing start for the Canadians, knocking off the defending champions from 4 years ago, Team China, with a pretty impressive 7-3 win.
What a great spot to be in early on in the competition. I'm sure Team Canada is really proud of themselves, and so they should be, and just set themselves up for success in this second game. Looking forward to their game against Switzerland.
That's right. The next task for Canada is against the Swiss, and the Swiss will be looking for a better performance after a 9-2 loss against Sweden. Let's go down to the ice and meet the teams.
Let's give a round of applause to this session's competing teams.
让我们掌声欢迎本轮比赛对阵双方。
On sheet A, Latvia versus Republic of Korea.
A 赛道，拉脱维亚队对阵韩国队。
There is the 45-year-old from London, Ontario, Mark Idison. A strong start for him calling the game. Dennis Thiessen, the second from Manitoba. Ina Forrest had a great game at vice skip. Made a couple of pressure shots. And here is the lead from Switzerland, Patrick de la Creta, who didn't play. He was the alternate in the first game. Françoise Jacquereau competed at the last 3 World Championships for Switzerland Paralympic debut. Laurent Kanaibul, the 40-year-old, also making his Olympic debut. And then the only returning player from 4 years ago is Hans Bergener. And Bergener was the alternate in Pyeongchang. Bergener will throw 4th stones, but he is the vice skip. And Knaibel will call the game, but will throw 3rd stones. And there's a look at the updated standings so far. 3 teams have yet to play: Estonia, Republic of Korea, and Latvia. That will change here in draw number 2. And the Canadians hoping it's a perfect record after day number 1.
That would be perfect if it was a perfect record. And it's within reach for them. Wearing red in this game, throwing red stones.
And Canada did win the last stone draw, so the Canadians will have the hammer in the first end.
That's always a confidence booster.
And they have history on their side, as Canada has never lost to Switzerland in 3 past Paralympic meetings. In fact, they've outscored the Swiss by a count of 28-2. But of course, those are all stories from the past. What matters now is this game right now in draw number 2. So we're all set to go. 1-0 Canada against 0-1 Switzerland. Draw number 2. And the lead for the Swiss, Patrick de la Creta, the 58-year-old who was the alternate in the first game, and already the Swiss, Sonia, looking to change things up a little bit with their lineup.
Yep. Felt like maybe they need to change things up a bit after the first game, being a bit of a struggle for them. So it's always a good thing to do and try some new strategies.
Mark Idison, the skip, but throwing the lead stones. Idison in his third Paralympic Games and skipping the Canadian team for the second straight time. A bronze medal in Pyeongchang 4 years ago. He also called the games there too.
Right where he wanted it to go. To the wing. Team's got the hammer.
Ouais.
Can you see the Swiss team is using the extender head? That's the head that most of us started using when we first started curling. Still super effective, but you do have to put the handle on by turning your wrist.
Elle va? No.
Does stay around for Della Creta in the back 12.
It's hanging on.
the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think similar speed, eh?
Yeah.
13 and a half, maybe
Yeah.
even on this side.
I like 13.
13, yeah. Good little deep.
Idison curled
Yeah, same.
73% in
Well, this
Canada's
is slower
opening
rock.
win over China, including 81% on his 13 draws. So a strong start. He's got a good feel of the ice, it seems, Sonia.
It does feel like that for sure, yeah. Took a little bit at the beginning of the last game, but certainly his first shot had great weight. Now he's going to the wing on the other side. Same weight. And he's going to get there.
Shot, Marco.
13.35.
Per sec.
Qu'est-ce que tu veux?
Take out.
Okay.
Françoise Jacquereau, a former para-alpine gold medalist in slalom and in giant slalom at the 1988 Paralympics in Innsbruck. He's competed for Switzerland at the last 3 wheelchair curling championships. So a multi-sport athlete.
Top. Super.
Very impressive. I didn't know that about her.
Bit of a change in pace between para-skiing and wheelchair curling.
Definitely, but you know, we might start seeing that soon. A lot of the retired athletes from the other sports coming to wheelchair curling because they don't want to leave the world of sport. And it would be a great transition for them.
Nice row.
From Crystal City, Manitoba, Dennis Thiessen, 2-time Paralympic medalist, including gold in 2014. 73% for him as well in the opening win. In fact, all 4 of the Canadian wheelchair curlers curled at that 73% mark. Consistency.
That's great to hear that they all curled at that level, that percentage. What a great start.
Ouais.
C'est trop.
You could see her lining up her stick to the broom and positioning her chair just right.
9-6.
Got enough of it.
Faut aller loin.
Ouais. Ah oui, pour avoir les deux, il fallait.
Hey, nose. Okay. Or we can draw here. Whatever you want. Let's draw. Actually, never mind. Let's hit it. Nose.
Some back and forth.
9. Curlier spot here. What's that rock do?
I don't think we had any notes on it.
Yeah. Okay.
So the team is really paying attention to each rock and what it does. So we got a little in on that one.
I think you're a little down.
We got 10. Like 10-2.
Didn't
Yeah,
like it
I
on the
had 9-8.
release.
No, I was down way
Tiens-le au vent, moi je tiendrai.
from that. This.
Laurent Kanaibul calling the game for the Swiss.
Je pense qu'elle va y aller là.
40 years old from the beautiful city of Geneva.
C'est parti là. 9-4, la vitesse c'est bon.
9-4.
Yeah, I think so. 13.
9-4, they're saying.
13,
They seem to
13
like
and a
the
quarter.
speed, but not the precision part.
Yeah, good weight. I think he knew as soon as he released that stone that he just wasn't hitting the broom. You know right away. Ina's drawing to the other wing here, looking for a 13.
Ina
Nice
Forrest.
roll, Ryan. Good to
That's a
just roll.
13-second timing of the rock from hog line to hog line.
12-1. Take that.
And we'll
Ah,
hear from the team what that one was.
yeah, at 12-1.
4th Paralympics for Ina Forrest. 2-time Paralympic gold medalist.
That's not like him.
Just hung on for him.
Ah,
9-6.
Ina gets to do that draw again. Certain that she's gonna nail it this time with 13 or 13 and a half seconds.
Good throw. Good to good.
She gets good rotation on her rock. 3 rotations from hog to hog. It's a great shot.
Ten. 10.
Hans Bergener, the vice skip for the Swiss, throwing fourth rocks. He's a 3-time Swiss national wheelchair curling champion and a co-flag bearer, just like Ina Forrest at the opening ceremony. As we mentioned off the top, the only returning member of the Swiss team. Swiss went 5-6 in the round robin, 5 wins, 6 losses in Pyeongchang, and did not make
Camera looks like yellow
the
is.
semis.
Yeah, it's cut off there. It's hard to see. Yeah, it's close, but we'll hit it. 9?
Okay.
So Mark's calling for a 9-second hit. So that's decent weight.
Guns is curled here.
John Thurston, the Dunsford, Ontario native. Strong opening game as well. And had a couple of nice shots, especially in the fourth end that counted 3 points for Canada that opened up the game against Team China.
He sure did. He had an amazing game.
Hit that one.
John's been in a chair for 14 years now. He had a work accident, a T10 spinal cord injury, but it hasn't stopped him. He lives a really active lifestyle. He's an archer, a water skier, and a wheelchair curler.
A little bit of everything. So Bergener, this is his final stone for the Swiss in the first end.
And you can see the difference in delivery styles
9-8.
between Team Canada and Switzerland. Switzerland really leaning over and hanging onto the chair for balance.
I think we'll go the out turn.
Okay.
Looking for a blank here.
So the last rock of the first end. Thurston wants it to curl, and
Ooh,
it does just enough.
Yeah,
Enough
blank.
to give the Canadians the hammer again and end at number 2.
Nice way to start end 1 with the blank. Get the hammer back.
Nothing yet after the first. Canada, Switzerland, in draw number 2.
Forcer le blanc.
All right, back for the second. Nothing on the scoreboard yet on sheet D. Canada versus Switzerland. Final draw of this day number 1. It's back to Della Creta.
12-7.
Ah, nouveau. C'est un peu rapide. C'est un peu rapide, mais ça m'a fait plus de pêche.
La glace ne vient pas.
Found his weight a little bit better there.
Okay, Mark, you got this.
It's curling there.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, sheet's getting the best of me right now. Oh, Lord.
Well, this is the first time that Canada's seen sheet D.
Ah, désolé. Excuse-moi. Tu la remets plus court.
Yeah, that definitely surprised Mark,
T'en fais une plus court.
but now they know.
The sheet's getting the best of me right now.
That's what he said.
Not necessarily the words you'd hope to say, but it is still early going here.
Exactly.
Second of 10 games for both of these countries.
And that comment that Mark made will be a note to self. He'll remember that spot the next time for everybody.
Stefan Pfister, the national wheelchair curling coach for the Swiss.
Well, if you don't get the back one, that's the next best thing is to move that guard over. So a good result.
Here's Mick Lismore, Canadian coach since 2020 at his first Paralympic Games. Lismore just 34 years old.
That one's got some weight to it.
Un peu vite, cocotte. T'as bouffé Bonago, bien. Allez, c'est pas grave, on s'encourage.
Still getting a feel for the ice.
Smooth 9, Dennis. Yeah.
Dennis is going to throw a 9-second rock here. It's a decent hit weight. And something Dennis can do with his eyes closed.
Really nice line.
Good throw. Nice throw, Dennis.
Dennis has been in a chair for 17. When he was 17, he had an accident, rather, farm accident.
Yeah, so it's definitely curling there. Is yours curled up? Okay.
This.
Vas-y, Fafa. À beau 10.
9-6. OK.
Comme ça prend pas.
Plus de glace.
Ah ouais. Mais, tu vois, ils
Little
se
back
plus
and forth
rapide,
game
hein,
right
je
now.
pense, mais tu vois, ça travaille.
Le tempo.
C'est bon. 9-6.
Dans le tempo.
The
Yeah,
tempo.
like that.
The tempo. Doesn't
9.
sound like Francoise's too thrilled about the tempo of her shot.
Right. The speed, the tempo.
That's been the main issue
It
for
has been.
both countries.
Yeah. It's a key piece of information. You need it to understand the ice and how you're throwing it and what you're doing. It's important feedback.
Good to end.
There we go.
So into third stones. Laurent Kanaibul curled at 38% in Switzerland's opening game, and Bergener at just 30%. And when you're throwing third and fourth stones, that's not necessarily a recipe for success.
No, it isn't.
15. Just 15.
They're still getting warmed up, though.
Le bas de l'écran. 15?
Yeah, I like
13?
13.
Yeah, 13.
Even like 12-9.
Yeah.
Getting very exact there, 12-9 or 13. Pretty close to the same number, but John's such a detailed guy.
Nice throwing.
Nice line, Ina.
Bon, l'histoire, c'est plus ça. Facilement. Je crois que c'est pas mal.
12-6. Je vois rien du tout.
Top.
Elle est longue, elle est longue.
Top.
Elle s'arrête.
Tu l'as fait long pour m'obéir.
It stopped for him.
Yes. Do you find that
13
the
and a quarter?
speed of each sheet can vary that much between sheet D or B or A or C? Is it really that big of a difference from your experience?
John,
It
straw the
actually,
button here.
it actually can, you know, and yeah, a second makes a big difference. Absolutely.
Nice line, Ina.
Good line, eh?
Straight back to it.
On top of that other one. That works.
How did it feel?
That's a question everyone's asks each other, because sometimes your watch tells you one thing, but it feels a lot different. Your watch might say 12.5, but it feels like you threw an 11.
Reset. Too long.
13-8.
Well, Bergener doing his best to make things tricky. Still, the Canadians lying 1. I have to say, that's a pretty solid-looking toque
Here anyway, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Bergener has.
Full 8.
It is.
Like 13.25.
Yeah, like your draw to the button
Okay.
with a broom more.
Look how precise John is.
Dennis keeping him steady at the back.
Yeah, really important that your chair doesn't move.
Sorry, Marco. 12-6.
Took the same path as Ina's.
Well, the question is, can Bergener get both? There's a jam possibility waiting for him, though.
Yeah, there is.
Or does he opt for a softer touch?
Didn't look like that stone had a lot of handle on it, so we're going to see what that does to it. Kind of stopped.
Not quite. And this leaves the door open for the Canadians in the second end.
You can see how that stone just took on a life of its own with no handle on it. It really didn't have a chance as soon as it left his stick. So important to get a positive release on your stone.
Yeah, I'll just take 4 feet off.
So a draw from Thurston into the 8-foot ring, and it would be a great start for the Canadians.
Sure would be. John's going to throw the same shot with a little less weight this time.
Chance for 3.
Beautiful thing about this shot is he's got those red for backing, so it's a comfortable shot to throw.
And he does use some of that backing.
Great second end for Team Canada.
And they do decide on the 3 red. The Canadians jump up early. And a great start.
Great start.
Thurston once again coming through with that last stone. Canada 3, Switzerland nothing. Through 2 in draw 2. So a good start for the Canadians. And for the Swiss, as we mentioned, they lost their first game earlier on by a count of 9-2. And they gave up the first 5 points, Sonia, of the game, all via the steal.
You're going in, right?
As Sweden stole 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and then 1 in the third. So just like that, they were down by a count of 5-0.
A little better than my other.
And all it took there was just that one miss, and Thurston took advantage.
That is all it takes sometimes. If you could only have that shot back. Thirteen five's not quite getting to the house. And usually it does at that speed. Playing a defensive style of game right now, of course, up 3. So strategy to take out whatever's in the house. Nice roll out of that one.
Held line, nice.
What's that?
Held line, nice.
The Swiss have never finished above the 500 mark in their 3 appearances at the Paralympics in wheelchair curling. As I mentioned, 5 wins, 6 losses 4 years ago. They were in the hunt. They didn't compete in 2014. Canada took it to the Swiss at home in 2010 in Vancouver by a count of 15-1.
Wow.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Yeah, I really like 13.
What are you thinking for time? 13? Yeah, I like it.
You were a part of that game, Sonia. Did the Swiss steal your dinner the night before or something like that? You said, we're going to take it to these guys today.
Oh, it seems so long ago. I'm trying to remember that.
Well, you've had more than a few games. One of many wins.
Yeah, for sure.
Tu dois combien?
10.
On day 2, Canada just plays the one game. It's against Latvia. So an early chance to rest up a little bit.
Get a bit of a break. And
the schedule does intensify, though, significantly after that. It's the race to the semifinals.
Definitely.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll use their break wisely. They always do. Very disciplined team. Never letting their guard down.
Good, 9. Good to end. 9.5.
Notice in wheelchair curling, each team is mixed. One female athlete, one male athlete must be on the ice at all times. Games are 8 ends.
On essaie d'enlever puis de week-end?
Bah, même rester, c'est bien.
Ouais.
Faut
Non.
rester là, autrement tu peux en mettre une là,
Hein?
si tu veux.
C'est toi qui
Je pense que c'est
décides.
mieux
Tu
take
peux pas
out.
mettre une garde?
Non.
Bon.
Tu fais un take-out?
Je pense que c'est mieux, ouais.
Ouais, si j'arrive à week-end, c'est encore bien.
Ouais, si t'arrives à rentrer un peu. Pas beaucoup, hein. Ça met quoi, ça? Plus.
Jacko Ho hoping for a little more ice. She was Switzerland's top curler in the opening loss at 61%.
Key player on the team then.
Oh, la pierre. Ouh,
Ah, une rotation.
une rotation.
Too
Elle va le
much
faire.
rotation.
Actually, no rotation
No
on that
rotation
rock.
at all.
Yeah, no handle, so it just goes sideways. Oh, look at that. She got something out of it anyways.
Not
Pas de
changed
rotation, puis c'est tout.
very quickly, but all's well that ends well.
Yeah. You can see Ina loads up her
Good throw,
stick really high up under her arm when she throws her hit weights. That works really well for her. Great shot.
Really nice. Great line. Lots of rotation. Not it.
Loren is the only player on the Swiss team that throws with the GTX head. So you can see his rock gets a little more rotation than the other
Ah, c'est bien.
teammates that are playing with the extender head.
10.
Same weight.
Ina uses a certain point on her chair to line up to the broom. You can see her, she looks down the sight line at the front of her chair. Everyone lines up a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Nice throw.
Another great shot.
sails on by.
That did.
Didn't have a lot of reaction
No.
out of the release, but
Didn't move much, right?
You've thrown
First
down
end.
here, right?
Narrow on the
You've
broom
thrown
there.
This hit.
Yeah, first
threw-
end.
You threw this in one?
Just caught it. Just caught enough of it, right?
You like that?
Yeah, 9?
Yeah.
Canadians making some observations here on this sheet already. Different pathways. This is one they've been down already.
Yeah, they're really good at taking note of the different paths of the sheet, remembering it for the next time, which is so important.
Ouais, depuis qu'on ça dégénère.
Back to 2 reds in the house.
Eh oui.
Hmm.
The stopwatch is such an critical tool in this game. Timing rocks, even the opponent's rocks, comparing that to our times. Gives us so much information.
First and 2 from Bergener. Again, has got work to do here. Facing 2 red Canadian rocks. Stays around.
Just hung around.
Nose?
Okay.
What do you think it's going to do here? I'm thinking fairly straight with a
Yeah,
9.
I think it's fairly straight. Maybe just a little finish at the end.
Just a,
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
New
Thinking
path.
9? Are you thinking 9?
Yeah, good 9.
Okay.
The team gets an opportunity to throw down different paths in the pregame practice, so they need to remember all of that as well.
Thurston thinking it was pretty straight. Let's see how this turns out.
Yeah, nice throw.
Rolls out.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Allez, on met un ou 2. C'est pas un.
So it leaves Bergener with the opportunity for a blank end.
Which would be good for them if that's how it turns out, but it's not gonna.
It does not turn out that way. The Swiss are on the board with a single in the 3rd.
Bon, ça fait une.
That's 1. 3-1 Canada after 3.
On remonte, on remonte.
C'est parti, hein? You got it. Yeah, yeah, not quite as positive, but like it ran like we thought it would. Like it was
the murmur of a few fans in the ice cube. The Beijing National Aquatic Center, built for the 2008 Olympics as a swimming pool.
Yeah, and something I'm sure our team members are missing, their families in the stands. Dennis's family always comes out to the games, and Ina's family and Mark's family. And I'm sure John and Kalinda's would have come as well this time if they could.
And it's a long time away from home.
It is.
3 weeks, I believe, in Richmond, BC for training, and then the big flight.
Yeah, they hung out together beforehand, which is...
Yeah, 1275, I think, Mark.
This one? You thought this rock maybe a little slower?
Yeah. Oh, they're both.
Eidson curling 63% on the game, but 92% on the draws, so
that's good. That's fantastic.
Got his draw weight.
Yeah, the team got to spend several weeks together before flying out from Vancouver, and that's not always been possible in the past. So they had 15 ice sessions and lots of team building exercises before showing up in Beijing, and that's gonna really be helpful for them.
Gato.
A little bit more on the ice cube. It was a 10-lane pool converted into a 4-sheet curling rink. Can hold up to 4,600 people at full capacity for curling. 17,000 people can cram in for swimming.
Wow.
Like you going around?
That's a lot.
Yeah, just a little, just down to it.
Like there?
Yeah.
You can see how long Mark's stick is when he's got it laying across his lap there.
Oh my goodness.
Just shy of 8 feet, he tells me. And again, they found a material that is really, really lightweight, which is helpful when their sticks are that long. He says you don't even notice the weight. So that's good.
Nice weight, Mark.
Yeah, 1296.
Nice shot.
Oh, Canadians back on the attack again.
I gotta throw that.
They are so.
That second one, like, hard.
Yeah, so that would have been T probably.
Yeah.
This. Non, plus. Plus.
Jack Garreau continuing her strong performance.
Elle a pas bougé le balai.
Top Swiss curler at 80%.
That's a good number.
Elle a pas bougé le balai, elle a bougé la chaise.
Terrific athlete, as I mentioned, a 2-time Paralympic gold medalist in skiing.
Et non.
Going back to the mid-80s.
Impressive. Very impressive.
Right here. Pathfinder.
Do you ever like the peel?
Yeah.
Keep it simple, maybe.
Like, we can do this. Okay. You like that? Yeah. Okay. 8.
Some good back and forth communication between John and Mark. Dennis loves to peel those guards. Hit that one a little bit thick, maybe.
He always good.
You thought you pulled it or something? No. 13, hein?
Je pense 13, ouais. 13, 13 et demi.
C'est un peu serré? Beaucoup?
Et vite.
Et en plus vite.
It's got a lot of weight to it.
Oh. Fafa.
13?
An opportunity for Canada to split the house.
Mark was 13-3
Yeah.
on his first top ball.
Fall to in. We got 12.
Another fast pathway.
Possibly, yes. Looked like it. Or just threw a little bit too much weight.
Ah. Ok.
Un joli LSD.
Voilà, voilà.
Il a bien changé d'idée.
Ça paraît simple.
Mais où j'ai une lumière comme ça, caché derrière le rouge.
Kneibel curling at just 38% so far in this game.
Looks like that one's gonna go through as well.
The struggles continue. Well,
Not quite.
stays in the back 12.
Je veux dire, parce que quand la pierre est partie, j'ai l'impression que j'appuie avant. Avant qu'elle ait passé totalement. Hein? 13.
Do you like a little more ice just so we're in the 8-foot? Yeah.
Confirming that we need 13. We saw Dennis's go through at 12, so we need a 13 here. Ooh, that one seemed to take off there all of a sudden. Great weight.
Good shot.
Yeah, so 12-9, that's
Yeah.
top 4.
Yeah. can really see how much respect Ina Forrest commands on the ice. Their presence, decision-making, execution.
Absolutely. She's such a key player and super dedicated to her training and knows the strategy really well.
Pas mal,
Ouais.
ça.
Mais oui, t'as peu. Ah,
Ah
non.
non. 9-7.
She's a real grounding presence on the ice, on and off the ice too.
Nous sommes jaunes.
Ouais, encore.
Encore 30 secondes.
Ina's been in a chair for 41 years now. She has 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. Her daughter is a veterinary. One of her sons is an environmental coordinator. And her other son, Connor, is a pilot.
That's quite the wide range of
Yeah.
professional activity.
Yep.
A little bit of everything. Nice hit and roll under cover for Ina Forrest as we move into the 4th stones.
Schöne longueur.
Kneibühl holding the broom for Hans Bergener. Bergener 58% on the game, including 60% on the takeout, which is significantly better than his first game.
Well, that's good. Get better every game.
And that's the goal.
That is a goal.
The path to success is not always a straight line, as we know.
That's right.
Oh, il manque un tout petit.
Ils ont 2.
That is still the Canadians lying 2.
Yeah.
Same throw, T-line. Okay.
I had 12-9 on Ina's.
Yeah, I like 13.
Okay.
12, 9, 13. Nice throw.
You can see the difference in rotation on the rocks from the Canada's stones to the
Marco.
1375.
Okay.
to the Swiss stones.
Crazy.
Thurston had that big smile after the first win over Team China, 7-3 in the mixed zone, speaking with the reporters.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he did, and so he should have.
Devin got to ask him a few questions and
12-40.
the big shots, and he had that big smile.
Wow, look forward to seeing that one.
Paralympic debut for John Thurston.
going from center?
Yeah, you can open it up. Yeah. I like that.
Well, a bit of a messy house here. That's a fine stone from the Swiss, the yellow biting on the button.
And you heard John ask Mark if he should move his rock off the center line a little bit, get a better aim at that rock, better peek at it. Better line at it. Oh, and he doesn't like that one.
Off the guard. And the Swiss pick up one on the steal. So just like that, we are right back to a close game. Canada jumped out 3-0, but the Swiss chipping away, bring it back to 3-2 at the fourth end break.
It can change quickly, can't it?
Yes, certainly can. One great shot from the Swiss, and all of a sudden, just a 1-point game at the Ice Cube in Beijing.
So let's be clear on where we're making the adjustment. Like if we're throwing a bit more weight, if we're taking a bit more broom, where that's happening, so we're all aware.
Yeah. So do you want to throw 8.5? Okay.
Awesome. Have a great
Yeah, I
second.
think we're in good shape.
Oh yeah,
Up
definitely.
one with playing 5.
No. Vor allem zweimal konstant, zwei gute Steine. He? Nicht zufrieden sein, wenn ihr einen guten Stein habt. Und investiert noch ein bisschen Konzentration in den zweiten Stein. He? So, jetzt erst recht und jetzt nochmals und nochmal besser, auch wenn der erste gut war.
Well, time for a snack break, Sonia. You mentioned the Swiss always have good snacks.
Yeah, they do.
Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese, Swiss chocolate.
Ah.
They always bring lots of Swiss chocolate and
That's a
share
good
it
one.
with everybody.
Well, after a tough start, the Swiss seem to be pretty relaxed.
They do.
Canadians do too.
Yeah, they both do, but definitely the Swiss have got their spirits up. It's so important during the fourth end break to have a snack. Keep your thinking brain going with energy, because even though you might not feel hungry or aware that you're losing energy, your brain can stop working the way it should be.
Okay.
So into the fifth end we go. And after the steal of one, Canada keeps the hammer into the fifth. 3-2 game. Canada with 3 in the second. The Swiss answer with 1 back with the hammer. And then pick up a steal in the fourth. Canada curling 61% through 4 ends. The Swiss at 56%.
T'as quoi comme ton?
Garde.
14-1.
Ah ouais.
And what looked like a comfortable start for Canada has
Not in?
tightened up a little bit, Sonia.
It has. Just took a
13?
couple of shots to turn that around.
13?
And now we're back to a close game again.
12, 8, 13, 12, 8.
Top curler, Ina Forrest, 75%. Right behind her is Mark Idison at 72. This is Idison's first stone. 95% now on the draws. Throwing out a lot of numbers today, but 95%, that's one we can highlight and circle a few times.
Definitely we can.
12, 7.
And that is his strength, the draws. And we just saw that there on that shot. Draw to the wing.
Bon, c'est le double garde.
Yeah, the end's fine. I like the end. That's 13? Yeah, 13, so. Yeah. Well, with this rock, 12. Oh.
Oh, 1275?
Yeah, 1275.
So I had 1354 on this last one. Came up.
Okay.
So you can hear the conversation there that they've identified. I think both of Mark's rocks are traveling a little bit slower, certainly this one. So 13 is what anybody else would throw, but he's thinking more 12.5 with that rock. And making sure he gets a good handle on it makes a big difference as well. Lots of rotation.
Go, Mark.
Quand t'es out puis tu rentres.
So the team's always paying attention to how each rock behaves, keeping note of that when it's time to choose color and choose rocks in the end games, in the final games. You want to know which ones not to choose.
10, ouais.
Well, trying to get the double takeout.
Almost.
I wanted to roll under cover as well. Maybe just poked out the other side.
I think so.
But a lot went right there.
8.
It did. A lot went right for them. Not sure if it was planned that way, but
Smooth 8.
it worked out that way.
Good throw.
Nice positive throw by Dennis on the broom. Good rotation.
Good.
And the peel that he loves to throw. 7-7, Ina says.
Bon, je sais pas, moi. C'est toi qui vois, hein.
That's That's 7.7 seconds on Dennis's hit weight.
Hein?
T'es au balai, toi.
C'est toi qui sais si j'ai fait mal.
Non.
Well, that
Just kept on going.
bites on the back 12 after a few close calls.
Yeah. Squeak by.
How close? Let's find out.
Very close. Woo!
Donc à ce moment, on a
Time to get rid of some of this yellow.
Well, Dennis is usually the man for the job.
He is.
Little good to in on that one.
Little inside, he thinks.
Oh, and the jam at the back. Taking out a Canadian red.
7-9. Attention, stop.
Oh, oh, il t'a prise dans le museau. Ah.
Je voulais enlever la merde, là.
Little collision there on the Swiss team. Look out. Don't want to pinch any fingers.
Ça t'a touché.
Dans l'œil.
Ah, dans la lunette.
Tu veux me tuer? Non, je vais être bon.
At least they're able to laugh it off.
13, c'est parfait. Ouais, c'est bien.
This one, however, slipping deep into the house,
Regarde, la longue ligne.
but
C'est bien, fallait le chercher, c'était.
still a lot of yellow. Probably too much for Mark Ideson's liking.
Yeah, don't really like those ones hanging around the back there. They can cause problems. Some great percentages for Ina. Not surprising.
Up-weight shot.
Run back.
And almost. Looking at a double. Coming close. That required some precision, even just to get the one.
It did. Yeah, and you can see how Ina, when she lines up on those hits, she turns her head a little bit to line up her dominant eye to the target.
Well, the Swiss making things difficult again for the Canadians in the fifth.
They are doing that, aren't they?
This one jams, and that angle favors the Canadians.
Top 8.
Ah, j'ai dit, les pas un peu sortent.
Well, they're going to come around anyway. I like it.
Well, do they come around though?
We got to be half buried,
Okay.
or we peel. No, I think top 8. I don't mind
We hit
peeling.
and roll.
Hey?
We better hit and roll.
Go right here.
Okay. I like it.
1325?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit of discussion about the strategy here and the direction of this end.
Yeah. Do we draw? Do we peel? They settled on the draw. That one's got some weight to it.
There is no backing for
No,
that
not over there.
red, so
Well, quick spot.
Swiss get an opportunity back.
Faster that way. You think faster that way? Nous sommes des humains.
Ouais, mais on est des Suisses, tu
On n'a pas de balayeur. Bon.
We've seen a few go down there now and end up long. See what happens here.
I'd say 9.
Et l'autre?
Not enough.
nous armes, t'étais au bout. Hein?
OK.
So like 13 and a half?
What do you think for
'Cause I
time?
had 13.8 on it. I had 13.8 on.
13 and a half?
13
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
13-3.
Lots of discussion still about the weight, 13, 13 and a half.
Yeah. 13-8. I think they agreed on 13-8. Pretty close to 13-5. Whatever this one is, it's a great shot. That's the one they wanted.
Right into the 4-foot ring.
Ça, c'est
Partially under cover as well.
12,5.
Il s'appuie.
Non, il faut qu'il fasse 12,5 pour l'enlever.
Ouais, puis qu'il reste.
Oui.
12. 12.
12 et demi. 12, 5.
Last stone for Hans Bergener. Too strong. And another one floats on past.
Yeah, must have got wide on the broom there, or a little too much ice, just didn't quite come around there.
Gives the Canadians a shot for 3 again.
Good position to be in. And John just threw this shot, so he gets to do it all over again.
Final stone, 5th end. Chance for a big scoring end for the Canadians, and John Thurston right on the money. 3 more for the Canadians.
2 more great shots by John to finish off the end.
And that comfortable lead back again, 6-2 after the 5th. Well, 2 big scoring ends for the Canadians, 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 5th. And both of them, Sonia, capitalizing on Swiss mistakes.
Just no, just less ice. Just less ice.
I like 13.
Yes, they definitely did. They jumped on those right away and executed the shots. And it's put them in a great position now.
Both scoring ends. Hans Bergener flashed his last stone, leaving Canada lying 2 both times. But it has been relatively close over the last couple of ends. That could have easily finished differently.
It could have. Yeah, it absolutely could have.
Right on the button.
The turkey shot.
Ouais, mais dans le corner, ouais. Je veux pas cacher sa pierre.
Tu veux pas cacher sa pierre, hein?
I asked Mark sometime today, when was the first year he started putting the Lucky Looney in the ice?
You read my mind.
Uh-huh. He said it was in 2013 at the Worlds in Sochi. I couldn't remember when he started doing that, but I kind of remember it now that he reminded me.
The Lucky Looney is back.
It's in the ice somewhere, apparently.
Yes. In a place that won't be a distraction.
That's right.
Yeah, this should.
Dennis's curl. Shouldn't thought he was just. I think it'll curl up. Smooth 9.
Yeah.
Mark said.
877. I thought it would have.
You got a lot of little full on that one, maybe?
On va entendre ce qu'il va dire. Ouais.
A little wide on the broom.
Hans, normalement, c'est...
Yes.
Oh mon Dieu.
Ja, Kindje.
Ça m'a l'air bien, mais je prends l'impression que t'es libre. Parce que j'espère que... Wow.
Ah, mais merde. Mais je sais pas, mais je t'entends.
Could have a counter of how many flashes we've had. It's been a tricky sheet of ice for both countries.
Seems that way.
I'd say we're probably up to about 5 or 6. Just a guess.
I think you're right, Matt.
Evenly balanced though. Both teams have had great shots and shots they would have
Like to have back.
exactly.
Sorry, man.
Dennis made sure of that one, though.
Guys,
Je vais sur laquelle? La centrale, là. Ouais.
Interesting note that the Swiss speaking French amongst themselves on the ice, but in their timeout with their coach, Steven Pfister, it was German.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I didn't pick up on that.
I could get by on some of the French, but not so much on the German. All of a sudden, I wasn't picking up anything anymore. It's one for the bucket list.
To learn German,
Yeah,
it's a good one.
yeah, absolutely.
Too snel.
Whatever it takes to deepen my curling knowledge.
Absolutely.
Mark is 12-6, right?
Eavesdrop on the Swiss
That's right.
strategy.
He thinks he's throwing heavier.
13 and a quarter down?
Yeah, 13 and a quarter.
Yeah.
Did you find yourself listening to the other team's conversations, or did you mostly just focus on your own stones?
Well,
It was nice and full.
you can gain information.
Absolutely,
Absolutely,
certainly, yes.
from listening to
It's
the other
wide,
team.
It's wide open.
Yeah. Fair game. Maybe ended up a little bit higher than they had hoped, but in the rings nevertheless.
Françoise Jacquarot continues to lead the Swiss at 68%. 10 percentage points better than the team average today. And another good one.
Another good shot by her.
Ja. Kijk, ja, schön.
Ina gets to take this one out. Both Ina and Dennis are left-hand throwers. Like to think that's an advantage of ours, 2 lefties and 2 right-hand throwers.
Ina Forrest taking care of business in the battle of the thirds.
Yeah, that was a great shot by Ina. Solid weight, great rotation, and right on the broom.
94% on her 4 takeouts.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Thumb to the broom is a mantra that she tells herself upon release. Thumb to the broom. That's what I remember anyway, unless it's changed.
Well, the Swiss back in, line 1.
Oh, mais elle est visible, ils vont longer.
Those 3 red Canadian rocks, though, are lurking.
They are.
Right around the button.
Just waiting for a jam.
Faut qu'il enlève.
No, got the guard.
It's okay.
That's okay.
Good shot, Ein.
Second best choice.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. No, that's exactly.
Gonna get another one in there. It's good weight on here.
Ouais, c'est bien. Là, elles sont bien placées.
2 good stones from the Swiss.
Il m'a pas assez droit de vol.
And suddenly there were 2.
Yes.
It happens that fast.
Oh, wait. 9, good 9. Okay.
Well, an interesting situation shaping up here with 4 stones to go in the 6th. Up weight shot from Thurston. Jams at the back. That was always the risk there.
Yeah, looks like for second shot.
That's close for second shot for sure.
What's that?
A little heavy.
The Swiss are in business. Well, this could be a key point in the game here. 8 end games in curling, so we are getting into those later stages.
We are.
Eight ends in wheelchair curling, of course. First of 2 from Bergener, who's had some nice moments.
13-1.
And a small little promotion.
Just to make sure.
Right now, the Swiss have 3 yellow rocks that are nice and tight.
It's a good shot.
Nose? Nose?
Nose. Yeah.
So Sonia, how does how do the Canadians get out of this?
With an 8.5 on the nose by John Thurston.
All right. So an up weight shot, hoping to make a couple of yellows disappear. That's Thurston's last in the 6th. 1 and 2 leave the house.
And possibly we are shot. Hard to say exactly, but it's very close.
So the double takeout by Thurston helps Canada. But yes, now the question is, who has shot Rock? Looked like from that first glance that might be that red on the left of your screen, left of the button.
I think it might be. From this angle, that's what it looks like. A key shot for Hans Bergener.
Final stone in the 6th end. Can the Swiss make up a few points?
Yes,
Hit
they can.
and sticks. It's enough for 2. And the
Nice
Swiss
hit.
get their deuce in the 6th.
C'est net ou bien? C'est net ou bien il n'y a rien besoin de mesurer?
Non, il y a deux jaunes.
Ah, 2 jaunes. Ah ouais, parce que depuis en haut, on dirait...
6 to 4.
Deux, c'était dur.
Hammer back to the Canadians, but this remains close.
All right. That was good.
Well, there's a look at the game story so far. Reasonably close in terms of percentages, but just 2 scoring ends for Canada, and they've been big ones, and that's why they're up 6 to 4, Sonia.
That's right. So we've still got some work to do.
Oui.
Ah, c'est bon. C'est bon, il va aller.
Ouais, parce qu'il dit qu'on peut gagner des heures.
C'est bon.
So a crucial 7th end here between the Canadians hoping to go 2-0 and the Swiss hoping to avoid their 2nd straight loss to open up this wheelchair curling Paralympic competition.
Mark throwing a draw to the wing, looking for something around 12.5 seconds. Just crept behind the tee line there.
Si t'es court, c'est pas grave, ça fait 2 gardes.
Swiss are okay if it's short. Be a 2nd guard. No issues there.
These rocks just really lose their handle.
It is not short.
No, it's not.
So just 4 feet left.
Yeah.
Same path, just less weight. You heard Mark say just 4 feet less. That one's moving too.
4-4. 13 et demi.
Jacquarot creeping up to 70% now on the game. And winning the battle of the seconds. She's really set up some nice ends for the Swiss.
Yeah, she's done a really consistent job.
8.
Time to make some of those go away. Oh, he didn't like that one. Got wide on that. Knew it as soon as it left his stick. Gives Switzerland a bit of an opportunity here to get in behind. There's that Path again.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
That's a tricky spot.
It is. It
Huh?
must be.
Right at it.
We've seen so many go down there.
Yeah.
Dennis gets to throw this shot over again.
It's quite the innovation having ice in this facility. It was a 50-meter pool, completely drained, filled with a complex floor structure built on scaffolding, concrete blocks. And of course, can't move when the players are at it and throwing rocks, as you know, which are quite heavy. I believe each rock is about 20 kilograms.
I think that's right. Yeah, about
35, 40 pounds.
Yeah, about at the 42, 43 pounds. Yeah.
So the transition from the water cube to the ice cube is really quite the transformation.
Very much so.
Takes about a month, and they're hoping that they can go back and forth.
Back and forth.
Back and forth between the swimming pool and the curling, depending on the season.
Really? Interesting. There's that path again.
Yeah, exact same.
At some point, you gotta believe. Just gotta believe it. It's Ina's turn to peel
8.5,
now.
fine. Should run pretty good here.
Canadians hoping to put themselves in a good spot heading to the 8th and final end.
Good test.
Scoring
Good
in
test.
here would certainly do that.
It would, for sure.
Almost.
Ouais, mais il perdait appui.
Je sais pas.
Ouais, on s'appuie dessus.
Je verrai ça comme ça.
On some shots, it would just be nice to have a sweeper.
What they can do without sweeping is beyond impressive. The precision it takes, no room for error.
Not really.
In able-bodied curling, you can massage a okay shot into a good shot, or take a bad shot into an okay shot.
Yeah.
La vitesse, c'est bas.
Aïe, ton bout, hein.
C'est 12
Non, no bonnet. No bonnet.
One thing to note about our sport, the sport of wheelchair curling, is you
What do you
can
see?
integrate into able-bodied leagues really easily. So if you're someone who
agree.
wants to, if you're someone who wants to try the sport but don't want to sit
Like
around
Bill
and
Kerr
wait
again?
for,
No, this is good.
wait for 3 other wheelchair curling athletes to show up, you can join a
All right.
able-bodied league in your local community, and that's really how a lot of us got started.
Well, that is terrific.
There you got it.
There you go. That's what they wanted to do.
That's really good.
Open that up.
That's good. What's that?
Yeah, that's how it all started for me. They called me down to help with a renovation on the washroom at our local curling club. needed to turn it into a wheelchair accessible washroom, and then they dragged me out onto the ice to try curling, and
All right.
reluctantly I tried it and soon fell in love.
Oh, terrific. Is that in Vernon, BC?
Yeah, the Vernon
Okay.
Curling Club.
The best ice in the business.
Yeah. Dave Berklinger is a top-notch ice maker, and we're lucky to have him at our club. We're also lucky to have Sharon Morrison and Jan Morey, who have mentored and coached both Ina and I over the years. Sharon's still coaching Ina at her home club under the direction of Mick, Team Canada's coach. She's been instrumental in both Ina and mine curling career. We couldn't do it without her.
13 or 12-8? 13?
Yeah, I like 13. Just biting 8.
Okay.
He says, I don't think I gave you enough weight, and he was right. He knew that right when he let it go. You usually do.
La línea.
Ouais, 11,5-12. Un moins de glace, hein. Non.
11,5. Pourtant, la vitesse est bonne. Hein?
OK.
That one got away on him.
Oh, and a chance again for Canadians here to score multiple points.
Probably just a bit of a fresh path.
The plan is just to draw for 2 here.
Quick path, but obviously not.
13, John?
Yeah, I like 13.
13.
Yeah.
And 13 referring to that lighter weight shot.
Yeah, that T-line weight shot. 13 seconds between hog lines. Should get him to the T-line.
All right, so already lying one. Here's John Thurston, his last stone in the 7th end, trying to score 2, and that's exactly what he does. Biting on the 4-foot ring. 2 more for the Canadians with 1 end to go.
Another successful shot for John under pressure.
8-4, Canada over Switzerland through 7 at the Ice Cube. Well, it's been a much improved performance from the Swiss, who only curled 45% as a team against Sweden in their opener, a 9-2 loss. They've kept it close, but when Canada has scored, it's been multiple points every time, including the deuce in the 7th. Eighth and final end. Canada leading by 4. A few stones away from a perfect 2-0 start at the Paralympic Winter Games in Beijing.
Plan is to put this one in the house and more than likely throw the second one through. That's typically the way they approach a scoreboard scenario like this.
We saw the exact same situation with Canada leading 7-3 over China heading into the 8th end, and were able to take care of business there.
That's right.
The Swiss, though, have been sneaky. They're a pesky squad. Canada hoping to improve to 4-0 all-time against the Swiss at the Paralympic Winter Games.
And we'll see this second one of Mark's go through the house. Nobody wants it hanging around. The less rocks in play, the better. Some enthusiastic fans there.
Yes, very enthusiastic. It's nice to hear. Usually they come by the thousands, those enthusiastic fans. We're working our way back.
They certainly did in 2010 and 2014. Oh my gosh, and no curling etiquette whatsoever.
Oh dear.
Non-stop cheering and
hooting and hollering.
It was all good though. It made for a really exciting and enjoyable experience.
Curling in front of a home crowd in Vancouver, where you grew up.
That's right.
It's been quite the experience.
There were 4 of us on that team, all from BC, all from the, well, 3 from the Lower Mainland area in Vancouver, and Ina from Fort St. John.
Okay.
So it was pretty special for all of us. And then Bruno Yitzek was our alternate then from Calgary.
Wonderful.
That was the second of 3 straight Canadian Paralympic gold medals in wheelchair curling. China broke up the streak 4 years ago.
They did so. They made it difficult.
Oula. Mais on n'a pas le shot, hein.
Ah, je sais bien.
Essaye de venir à 12.
Ah.
Puis tu reviens un peu devant.
Tu veux que je touche la rouge pour week-end?
Ouais. Mais
À
pas trop vite.
combien?
But Team Canada,
Viens à 12, 12 et demi.
Team Canada needed some time to go through some rebuilding years.
12 et demi. Ou 13 même.
Non, mais attends. Tu me dis tous les chiffres.
Saying you're giving me every single number here.
Is that what she
12,
said?
13, 11.
Is that
10.
what she said?
Yes.
Aw.
I think they were looking at that possibility of a double there, and that conversation ended quite quickly.
Just give me one number, please. Don't confuse me.
Yeah, it sounded confusing.
Super.
Looks like we're still sitting 2.
Okay. 8.
8-second hit, but Mark is calling. Dennis is in a carbon fiber wheelchair. That's the same chair that I have from Sweden, the Panthera X. It's the lightest chair in the world. Depending on your cushion and maybe any other add-ons that you may have on it, it's supposed to be around 10 or 11 pounds.
Pardon?
Tu viens doucement dessus?
Doucement dessus.
À 12?
12, nouveau.
Ouais.
Trying to come lightly on top of it. This time just one number, 12. Dues. You got that part.
Much more clear this time.
Oh, look out. Not quite what they had in mind.
Not what they had in mind.
Into third stones.
You can see Ina's got her rock pulled quite off of the center line there. Get a straight line on this hit. Take the curl out of it. And whoa.
Well, leaves the door open just a crack.
I'm sure she'd like to get that one back. But you're not allowed to do that in curling. No mulligans.
I see. Pass that one back, please.
That one's going sideways real fast. And that can happen if there's just not enough handle rotation on the rock. They tend to just start going sideways.
We're still having that discussion about the right weight It's come up again. We had some early issues on both sides. It's been a tricky one.
But it's the 8th end.
Yes.
There we go.
And the handshakes are out. And the Canadians off to a perfect 2-0 start. In Beijing 2022.
Another W for Team Canada.
Tu peux continuer? Il avait encore 2 pierres.
She's saying, why didn't we keep going? We had a few more stones.
Mais c'était bon, hein?
That's another one. Once you shake hands, I think there's no going back from that.
I don't think so.
8-4, the final score. Canada 2-0 after day one. The Swiss dropped to 0-2.
Il y a des choses que je comprends plus rien, moi.
Bon, on n'était pas en avantage, mais...
Non, on n'était pas en avantage.
I think she would have liked to have been in that discussion.
Yeah, she says, I'm not understanding anything of what you guys are saying anymore. Some frustration.
Help me understand, please.
Yes. Yeah. But overall, another solid win for the Canadians, and this time they do it by scoring a few big ends, and right now alone at the top of the table.
And now they get to have a little bit of a break with a bye, I believe, coming up.
Just the one game tomorrow.
One game tomorrow.
On day number 2. And that would be against Latvia. And for those watching in the Eastern time zone, it's a 1:30 a.m. Eastern start, 10:30 p.m. Pacific. So 10:30 p.m. Friday night, 1:30
a.m.
Hang on, I'm getting my days mixed up here. 1:30 a.m. Sunday morning, Saturday night. For those on the West Coast, time for us to call it a night.
These time zones are confusing.
Canada 2-0 after day one.